Come and get started on a new mission, a new direction, a new intention. Welcome to 5.8G Alive at Connections 50 Plus. I am Terry-Ann Joseph Brathwaite.
And I am Jennifer Gibbons Joseph, catering to all your prospects in the third act of life.
Economic well-being, social gratification, personal fulfillment.
Join us on Wednesday at 6 p.m. on Connections 50 Plus Facebook page, YouTube channel,
and on Gael the Caribbean.
Hello, everyone across the Caribbean, the islands, the continental, Central American, and South American Caribbean. This is 5.8G Alive, and you are here with Connections 50 Plus. Welcome. I am Terry-Ann Joseph Brathwaite, one of the co-creators of Connections 50 Plus. With me as usual.
Hi, and I am Jennifer Gibbons Joseph, the other co-creator of Connections 50 Plus. Welcome to our show this evening.
Okay, so listeners, everyone, Jennifer, we have started, everyone knows that the show is much more interactive and we involve you. We're really working on getting our 50 to 80 cohort, our 5.8G group, ready for building that third act stage and living that life. And we've divided the new format into 3 sections. And I think you all are really enjoying the 3 segments.
Yes.
You know, and everyone knows when you check on Facebook or check on YouTube, if you don't have time to look at the entire show, you can see the Being in Tune, Being Money Savvy, and Being Tribe segments posted throughout the weeks. So, Jennifer, how has your week been? What has been going with you since last Wednesday?
Still keeping a low profile, still staying safe, not going out much, or not going out at all. Actually, I didn't go out for the week, but exercising at home.
Yes.
And taking it easy, preparing for the show, calling a couple of friends to old talk. But I'm good. I've been good.
But Jennifer, today is a good day. You got something special today.
Oh, yes. Today I got my shot. Yeah, I went out there and I got my shot.
Very good. As we keep telling everyone on 5.8G Alive, the best vaccine is the one that is available to you.
Oh, yes.
So now both Jennifer and I have had our first shots of vaccines. We're looking forward to the second because we are going to be there in 2050. So
yes, definitely.
So Jennifer, as we get on to our show, I think we finished our last series where your mind, body, and soul was truly interesting. And we did our being money savvy with business. So we're starting another 3-part series this week. This is our 4th show of the 5.8G cohort. Okay. So Jen, what is our new approach about?
So I would be starting our new approach, of course, we're doing Being in Tune. We just switch up a bit. So you'll see this week, Terry-Ann will be the one talking about being in tune, living a fulfilled life. And I am doing the dollar savvy. So that's a little switch up there. But other than that, and then we're going on, of course, to chat about community. Yeah.
Okay. So without much further ado, you've had Mind, Body, and Soul with Jennifer in the last Being in Tune segment. And now that our mind, body, and soul is aligned, join me as we go on to talk about getting your space coordinated with your tuned mind, body, and soul. So viewers, Caribbean people, welcome again to Being in Tune. This is our segment. Now you've seen Jennifer do one part of Being in Tune, and I am handling this one. And all the real Connections 50 Plus followers must recognize this lady. She was a guest before on our show, And if you were following us playing mass, you certainly would have seen her then. So we are really, really happy to have Diane Marslin on with us again. Welcome, Diane.
Thank you for being here.
Great. And Dee, what we are talking about is, we looked at tuning in. Jennifer did a wonderful series that looked at mind, body, and soul, especially in our pandemic where everyone is so turned inside out. Now we want to turn to the space we exist in, because it's one thing to get your mind organized, but if that mind and body is not tuned into the right space, we still would be as upset as we can ever be by all the stress that the pandemic gives. And we thought that your background as a decorator and a lady of style generally, you would be a perfect person to have this conversation with. So I want to ask you as my first question before we get into when you put on your decorator hat, and you have on a hat now, so let's call that your decorator hat.
Okay.
And you see a space. What excites you about space?
Well, your creative mind has to come in there.
Yeah.
And what excites me about a space? I am a color person. So something in that space has to have a color to pop to make me get excited. So look for things that I could match for that space. That's my thing. I have to look for something in the room to like something like a gray room is going to say, hey, Diane, look, you could work with so much color in that gray room. You could go orange, you could go green, you could go purple, you could go, and just look for things that is going to, that I look for a color, one color alone. And I could work with that, yes.
Yeah. And what does color do to you? I mean, what does color do to you when you see that pop? What happens to you?
Well, you get excited and it makes you feel like, here, I could go and find something to suit that color.
Yeah.
Find items to put together to suit that color. Find a piece of carpet to go wild with. That's why I say your creative juices will come in then.
Yes. Yes. And we hear many people talking about, well, we in a pandemic, we in a curfew, we in a bubble. Yeah. And a lot of people are becoming depressed, frustrated, and we want to propose, and I know you have a story about that. We want to propose that we can look at our spaces, and there's indoor space and outdoor space, there's personal space and there's public space. But for now, we are saying if we look at our spaces, we are pretty sure that each of us, the creativity in us, the decorator in us, we can do something to make that, so that space becomes much calmer, puts us in a different frame of mind. Is that something that you can relate to?
Yes. And with me too, I mean, I find if you rearrange, remove clutter, and rearrange that little space into something that you could, relax in. I mean, you have a space that you could relax in already. But if you move something away and say, you know what? Let me replace it with something, or just move it away, change around, rearrange your furniture. It works for me. It works for me.
And I think it works for so many people, even in a tiny, tiny room. If you just, like I say, sometimes move the drapes from bedroom 1 to bedroom 2, or living room to dining room.
Yeah.
Just something.
Just rearrange, just, remove, and, it will give you if you remove something, it might give you an idea to put something else on. Yeah.
And sometimes just this simple act of, you use the word there, decluttering.
Yeah.
When we say, people tend to think declutter, people have no sense of how much they've accumulated.
Yep.
And how much they're not using. So dear, I know
Yeah.
you have a story about cleaning out a warehouse recently
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I
because
do.
your business has slowed down in the pandemic. So what was your decluttering story?
It isn't really much a story. It's just that my warehouse was just packed up with, things just thrown on top of each other. And I decided, you know what? My anniversary was approaching, and I decided, here's what. I think I'm going to have my little anniversary dinner. We can go anywhere. Right in the back of in my office. I'm going to transform my office into, like a restaurant and do that. So I started cleaning the warehouse, and I threw out so much things, Darian,
Uh-huh.
that I could no longer use. Because too, I became despondent. I said to myself, after this COVID is over, I think I'm going to get rid of a lot of stuff because I don't think I want to do it anymore. And after
That means give
decluttering
up
the
your
warehouse,
business because you're talking about your warehouse as a decorator.
yeah, yeah. And then after decluttering, and my office, I transform my office into change around the color, added to it, and I said, you know what? It raised my spirit, and it did something to me.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's my story.
Yeah, because we really do believe that, as we going through the pandemic, you come back to the mind, body, and soul, and you come in a space. Sometimes just the sameness, and the normally we go out to work and we go out to shop or we go out to school or we go out running errands, and we don't realize the sameness of the house or wherever we stay doesn't come down on us.
Yeah.
But now that we're forced to stay put for so long,
Mhm.
we realize it's been a while.
Yeah.
And it's important for us to do something with the space that we're in to make it more pleasant to us.
Yes.
And
And as
yeah.
I was telling you, it raised my spirit that I said, you know what? Every morning, I would come in the back here to meditate, say my prayers, and relax the start of my day.
Mhm.
And as I told you, looking out of the door, I said, you know what? I needed to add something to it. I needed a garden that I could look out into. And that's what I did. I created my garden. When I open my door, I can go out and, start my day by
Yeah.
being in my garden.
Yes. Yes. You know, I was reading some things because, again, we are all homebound, and
Mhm.
Jan and I live through this box here.
Yeah.
We live through the box. But yes, you have to come out and you have to change around. And there is something not only with managing your space and managing, as I say, inanimate things, curtains and pictures and cushions and chairs and beds and so on.
Mhm.
But there is something when you deal with live things, meaning plants.
Yes.
So were you always a garden person?
No. I love
Uh-huh.
plants. I loved plants. So you always find my yard has a lot of plants. My brother was into landscaping and
Mm-hmm.
he would come every month to spruce up my plants. So I was never into hands-on doing it.
But you
However,
appreciated nature.
yes. However, he always used to tell me, Diane, this is something so easy to do. You have a love because I love plants. You have a love for plants. Why don't you start doing your own garden? And look, I mean, I could start you off with a little kitchen garden. I could clear the area for you, and it never excited me.
Uh-huh.
However, as I said, when I opened that door, I said I wanted to see herbs. I have these two bicycles, and I said, you know what? I want to do herbs. I want to be able to get up and go and pick some mint and probably do some minty. I want chai mint. I want all the mints. That is what started me off. I decided to go to the plant shop and buy seedlings
Mm-hmm.
and start all the mints. And then I said, no, you know what? I needed some flowers. I needed some brightness. I needed some color. And started adding. And then a friend came and she said, oh my God, Diane, look how beautiful you have these mints in these little teacups. And why don't you join this planting group called Planting to Eat on Facebook? You into doing vegetables. I say, I have no great room. You could create your own space with added these little pots that you have here. You could do the same thing. And that's exactly what happened. I joined the planting tea group and they encouraged me. I looked at how these people are growing vegetables in containers. And I
Mhm,
said, "Well, you know what? I am going to do that." And that's what I did.
mhm,
Went out, bought some manure, and I started my own pots. I painted them to give them the oomph because I didn't buy no pots. I had pots, I had troughs, I had everything. I
mhm.
emptied all those things that I have no use for.
Yes.
Vegetables gave me it encouraged me to want to go and do more. So I
Mhm.
planted beetroots and cauliflower and cabbages, and believe me, it grew. I was able to reap, and that encouraged me to continue going on and on with the vegetable garden.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And was it I'm sure now you started off sort of despondent because the decorator business was just gone and all of that. You went through those changes of changing your office. So you changed your personal
Space.
space to something that made you relax and made you much happier. And because you wanted that door that you go out to be different, you got into gardening. And what has happened to you, your spirit? Where is your spirit now? That you have not only a herb garden and a flower garden, but also a vegetable garden.
You know what? Peace and tranquility is there. I feel so peaceful on a morning when I say my prayers and I go out there.
Mhm.
I'm able to come inside and not be in a quarrelsome mood because my husband found that here what we all together in this house every day. You need to not be move that from there and move that from there because I have a habit of that. I can't see anything out of place.
Yeah. Mhm.
And I'm no longer there.
Really.
So I'm no longer there. Believe me, I'm no longer there. I
Mhm.
can decide after I finish in my garden, I head to the shower. I'm so relaxed. I'm so at
Yes.
peace. I love it. I
Mhm.
love it. I really do. It's like my zen. It's like a zen to me. I go out there. My neighbor came. I invited them to come across and see it, and
Mhm.
she was like, "Oh my God, Diane, I wish I had this. I will sit here whole day, just sit outside here whole day." So it's a kind of peacefulness for me.
Mhm. Mhm. And
Relax
why do you think she thinks she can't have a space like that?
because she has too much dogs.
Ah, so she chose to have dogs in her
Yeah,
space.
they have about 13 dogs, so they
What? Okay.
can't afford to have a garden.
Okay. Okay. 13 dogs. That's
Yep.
no.
Yep.
But the story you bring out, it's so very, very relevant because one of the things we want to do with Connections 50 Plus is to help people lift their spirits. We have to prepare for when this thing is done.
Yeah.
And we can't be all battered and haggard and down and in the dumps with no spirit because we have our vaccines. The vaccines are coming. We are all going to become vaccinated, and then whether there's no job, there's a job, whether there's no business or what, we have to have a spirit that allows us to start afresh and start renewed. And I really do feel that looking at our space, yes,
Um,
we think that just changing in this period while we are waiting for a vaccine or waiting for the economy to reopen or waiting for whatever we're waiting for. It's so important to keep our spirits high, just changing our internal and external spaces. It
mhm.
really does make a difference. And it seems to me that that has certainly worked for you,
It has.
you know? And what else? Well, your husband sees that you're no longer arguing a lot.
Mhm.
What other benefit has come to you because of the differences? I can imagine you're planting your own food. That's important.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, my grocery, my market bill has and I get excited. He sees the excitement when I have to go pick, when I have to go read, and I come inside and I get so excited. I'm like a little child.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he sees excitement and he said he kind of supports me, tell me that's my project. That's my,
Yeah.
because I tell him sometimes sometimes I get up in the morning and I would say my prayers and sometimes I don't feel like I'll get a little pain in I said, you know, but you want to go outside and go and wear the plants to me, and he's like, that's your project. And I get mad when he tells me it's my project, because I tell him it's our project. We are both eating from it, you know. So then he said, you know what? When I go outside to wet your plants, you come and stand up over me to make sure that I've given it enough water. You know? So that's why I choose not to go outside and do it. It gives me and it gives everybody around me that seeing how happy I am with it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that is really, really the key to absolutely being in tune. You have gone into both spaces, that internal space, your office, it's not needed anymore. So you've converted it to something that's so useful.
Yeah.
And you are now sitting in your swinging chair in your office.
Yes. I'm in my office space, but the rest of it is Bert had he barbecued in here, so I can't show the rest of it.
That's
He
okay.
started bringing his barbecue pit in here. So,
You created
you know.
too much space.
Yeah.
Good. And you have an example of a garden that has allowed you to create an outdoor space that totally relaxes you. So yes, so you have found that, you know, when I was also doing some reading on Feng Shui, and you know, what we do, it all talks about balancing the space and your energy and so on. And what I realize is what we do by redecorating and decluttering and putting color and so on, we've been doing Feng Shui long time, because that is exactly what it says. Make sure there's energy, positive energy coming to your space. Diane, this has been lovely. So no, I think you are a wonderful example of how easy it is to change your energy, change your mood, become more lifted by looking not only at your internal private space, but so critically the external space, you know, and connecting with life, connecting with plants, getting into the garden and getting energized.
Love to open the door and see the birds. I see all these different birds coming into my space.
Uh-huh.
All you know, they teach you about all these little pests that help with your garden. And I look for them. I find myself looking for them. I find myself, you know, enjoying nature.
So you have all your ladybugs and all the good bugs and so on.
Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Enjoying nature. And that's what, you know, it brought to me that spirit of, you know, longing for nature, to go out there. There are people who can't go outside. You know, I could go outside. I have the benefit of being able to go outside. I don't have a big space. I don't have a big, you know, expanse of land but I created my little zen with the little space that I had. And yeah.
And viewers, here you have some beautiful pictures of Diane's office space and garden. And it's true, it's not expansive, and all of that, Diane, you did by yourself and just using paint.
Yep.
And really,
and then taking a chair that I had and I covered it. I changed the color of it because it was just stark white. And I said, you know what? It needed some color. And I covered it and put some cushions on it, throw some cushions on it to give it some life. Put some flowers to brighten up the place. And, you know, and that worked for me.
And that is the essence of being in tune and allowing your space to be in tune with your spirit, that we want to encourage our 5.8G Alive Cohort 2 Adopt. Dee, thank you so very much. This was wonderful.
You're
And
welcome.
we really enjoyed the pictures, and we hope that you've inspired some of our listeners who may be weighed down by the lockdown and the curfew, wherever you are throughout the Caribbean, to just do something with the four walls that are surrounding you,
Yeah.
and go outside and do something with the space that you have.
Just in a
Okay.
container, one container, you could just start, start something, But it was nice talking to you, Terry.
Same here, always is. So take care. Bye. Yeah. So Jen, what did you think of that?
Terry-Ann, I can easily relate to what Diana said because that's me. I just love my space. So me creating, I call it creating a Zen space, which means creating a space where I can really relax. And I am also indoor, outdoor. So my small space is set up with the things that I love, and gives me joy. I also like things in place. To me, when I walk into my home and everything is in place the way I like it, it relaxes me. I enjoy being home. And that's why when you asked the question, about being at home in this pandemic, I'm not bored at all. I am happy. I looking to change around and setting up my little space. And outdoor, outdoor for me is really, that's it for me. I love, love, love outdoor. My plants and things. So I easily related to what Diane showed. And of course, I love Diane's space.
Yes, and her pictures.
Beautiful. Yes.
So that with not a lot of space, you can do so much.
Do so much. Oh, yes.
So we have our mind and body and soul aligned. We have our space aligned. So Jen, we are moving on. So folks, Jen, where are we going now?
One thing sure, I'm going to be chatting with you all about, I call it money moves on the third act stage. Because money is utmost in people's minds now, and I want to put your minds at ease.
Great. So I'll see you soon, Jen.
Yes, sure. So welcome again. And as I said, I'm going to chat with you. I call it money moves on the third act stage. Money impact on our lives in different ways. And it all depends on what stage you are in life. It all depends on your financial situation. But because we are 5.8G Alive, I am going to chat about the third act stage. That is the 50 to 80 ages. Those are the stages I'm going to chat about. But normally at age, you'll say at age 50 to 59, you find yourself, those would be people in the pre-retirement stage. At that time, they're thinking about, building up their retirement fund. You may be thinking of securing your family. Also, you looking at, getting ready to leave that office, to leave your company and to move on to a different stage. And normally the retirement age for most people is 60. So then you're looking at age 60 to, I would say 69, you actually in that retirement stage, I will say, you're transitioning, whether you're moving from one situation to the next. You may be in the company, you're moving to other company, you're changing careers, or you're just going into business. But at that time, you're making that move. You're actually going on to the third act stage. So you're looking at how you would you may get less income, how you would adjust to a lesser income, how you can secure your assets, and of course, which is utmost on most people's mind, how you enjoying your retirement. Basically, you look at, should I travel? What you're going to do? And then the other stage, which I would say the 70 plus stage, well, at that stage, most people saying this is it. They have done everything, and what they want to do is really enjoy life the way they want to, whether it's to travel, whether it's to do garden, whatever they want to. But the main thing then, they want to ensure that they're in good health, that they have some financial stability, and really freedom to do, they don't want to be hassled, they don't want to be stressed out. So that time is really enjoying life. But we all know, yes, that's ideal and people doing their thing, but the pandemic came and it's here, isn't coming, it's here. So we are going through this pandemic, and what has happened with us, many of you out there would have had to change your plans and look at, okay, this is the situation, what can I do now? In changing your plans, you're looking at your goals again. What the pandemic has also done for many of us is we dealing with some, I will say, financial distress. So I want to chat a bit about what moves can you make at this stage. And I would say one, I just want to share, let me say 5 moves with you. And I want to say to you that, look, we have been in this pandemic, in this situation for over a year. Most of us are about a year older. We can no longer sit back and be stuck and get frustrated and complain and give up. No, this time is time for us to say, hey, shake ourselves and move on. We need to move forward. We need to look at our goals and said, yes, we are going forward. We have next 20 to 30 years to make it. All right. So the first thing I want to say, number one, is don't panic. You hear that all the time. Don't panic. And for you not to panic and to stay positive, Terry-Ann mentioned earlier, the last 3 shows I spoke about mind, body, and soul. So I'm not going to repeat all the things that you need to do or the suggestions that I made. What I will recommend for you, for those who haven't seen the episodes, to visit our Facebook page or go on our YouTube channel, and definitely you can check out those episodes and you will get some very valuable tips to help you to start being positive. Okay. So I want to start with financial, and I am thinking about what should you do at this stage to help you, and as I said, with the money moves. So financial, review your financial situation, and I am talking even those of you who are in a better financial situation, a favorable financial situation, and think that, okay, I'm good. I will still suggest that you review your situation. And in reviewing your situation, be realistic, be real. We no longer, there's no time to play games. I would say start by what? Putting your cards on the table. Meaning, let's look at exactly what is happening to you now. And I want to, at this stage, go through, I'm just looking to make sure that I cover all the aspects quickly for you. So in doing your looking at your financial situation, really review, remove the negative. So let me start by saying that also, because many of you, many people, I should say, don't like to talk about money. Money becomes a negative. You get very stiff, especially now where money may be scarce. So for you to start on this exercise, for you to take action, you need to look at money in a positive way. Think of prosperity, not scarcity. That's what I will say. And to move forward, to achieve any goals, what you need to do also is remove the blocks in your way. So if you have any money phobias, I would suggest think about what it is, what really, how do you feel about that, about money, and remove that from in front of you. All right. So you get started. All right. What you do, I want you to first, get a notepad, pen, a notepad, use your computer, your tablet, or whatever you feel more comfortable with, and sit somewhere quiet and start taking notes. Where are you financially? How much money coming in? Money still coming in or no money coming in? Exactly what is happening? What are your assets? What do you have? What do you still have? What's your worth? Because you may have certain things may have been, the value may have been higher prior to the pandemic, and now you may find, the values may have reduced. It all depends, Look at your investments, the type of investments you have, all the things that you will normally consider assets, what you own and unlisted, right? All these things. Also look at what is your living expenses, because before we may have been able to go to the grocery and splurge a bit, buy certain things that you like. Now you may have to relook. So then look at your living expenses, look at your grocery shopping, and start when you write it down. That's the only time you would know how you could make some changes. All right. For those who may have loans, check out when if loans finishing, what is the interest rate, what's happening, what's the penalties. If your financial institution may be giving you a little reprieve, they have recommended. On the same day, I read where central bank has made recommendations to the commercial banks, etc. So investigate and see if you fall into that category for those who may have loans or still have heavy mortgages, etc. So in looking at your financial situation, I'm suggesting that you look at, this is what you have, this is your situation. Let's see what's out there, what's alternatives, what can be done. All right. So you get a total picture of exactly what you have, what you owe, what changes that you can make, if any, what are your commitments. You may have made commitments every month to donate or to help out, different type of commitments, or fixed commitments, things that you have to pay. Look at that. And because you have to look at the different things, the different commitments, your fixed commitments, those that you can adjust, etc., because this is time for you to make changes. Okay, so you have a total picture of what your financial situation is like, and you face the reality without being stressed and without being disappointed, because as we go along, you would see how this will help you. So that's the second move. The third move, I would say, I would suggest, is for you to also make adjustments to your goals. Look at your goals, because hey, we're on the third act stage and we have goals. We want to live life. We want to do the things we always wanted to do. So review your goals. I'm not saying remove, I'm saying review. All right. So in reviewing, you may have to shift in terms of priorities, things that you may have as priority, you may have to lower it. So look at your goals. Many of you may not have written goals, but I am suggesting in this situation, we need to jot down, make some notes, what you really want to do. You may have planned to travel this year. and you realize, hey, you can't do it again. You may push it back to next 2 years or 3 years. It all depends on where you want it to go. You may shift from wanting to go Europe to say, okay, I'm going just the West Indian Islands, etc., etc. Okay, so goals are very important. It will drive you, it will make you all excited to get up there, to take action. Okay, but as I said before, money affects life. So to achieve those goals, you need money. All right. So when you are noting your goals, you also need to note the cost, what it will cost you to travel, what it will cost you to change your car, what it will cost you to open your business, what it will cost you to help your children. You know, please, you need to put a cost. And of course, I don't need to tell you, when you put that cost, you want to know what time you're going to achieve it. All right. So you have everything in place. You have all your goals set out, and you know this is what you want. All right. So that's number 3. Number 4, you have those goals, but how are you going to achieve them? What are your plans? All right. So you need to have some sort of your activities. If you just have things written and you don't know how you're going to do it, you don't have a roadmap, you don't have any guidance, then you're going to be in problems. So my suggestion, and this one, would be about decision making. Decision making is critical. Because, and let me use an example, and I use in travel because I have so many friends that from the time they retire, they love to travel, they love to do things. So your decision making will be as simple as, can I still go to Europe, which will cost me about 25,000, even if you have the money put aside, or you had already put aside money for that travel, you still want to make that decision. Should I still do it at this time? Or should I hold on to that money, or maybe just use part of it and shift what I'm going to do? Decision making also, there are those of you who really in financial distress and have to decide, make some really critical decisions, and decisions that may affect your lifestyle in a certain way, and you have to make adjustments. And for instance, because you already know what your financial situation is like, you may want to look at, should I liquidate some of my assets? You know, and if you do decide to liquidate, you have to decide, okay, I'm liquidating, but what asset and why? Because you're not going to liquidate an asset to go to the grocery just like that, you know? And if you're financially distressed, the best option, or one of the major options you should look at, is how can I monetize my skills and my talent? And in our last series, Terry-Ann spoke a lot about entrepreneurship, about those who want to get into entrepreneurship. And entrepreneurship might sound for some people like, oh, it's a hassle, it's a big business. No, and Terry-Ann explained it very well. It's really for you. You have some skills, you have some talents, you can monetize. What you also have to look at too, and as a consideration, you can find someone else, some friend, family that you could collaborate with, and create some sort of business where you can get some cash. All right. So these are things you can look at and not just sit back and say, I have no money, it's impossible. You would be surprised to know the things that you can do to bring in some money. All right, before you decide to liquidate. Other suggestion when it comes to making serious decisions is for those who maybe really find themselves, things are real critical, can look, and if they own their own home, can look at maybe set a time frame or start the discussion about whether you may be able to add on or convert a room that can be rented, etc., etc. So there are several options that you can look at in terms of your decision making. But at this stage, decision making is important because one, you know your financial situation, you know your goals, and you're not taking away those goals. You want to achieve those goals. The decision making there would be for you to decide of the time frame. So instead of removing your goals, what you're really doing is extending the time to achieve them. And remember, at the third stage, you would have 20 to 30 years. So you have time, don't panic. And in the meanwhile, what you want to do is to make sure you are as comfortable as possible. And this takes me to the fifth move. The fifth move is really for you to give thanks, show gratitude. You're alive, you're well, you give praise to the Almighty, whoever. I'm not getting into religion. Your faith is about believing and knowing that, hey, I am here for a purpose. I am still alive. I have not been affected by the COVID. So you put everything in place, what they are asking us to do, to stay safe, but to show some gratitude and make your time right now, make it as purposeful as you can. So that's my 5 tips about money moves on the third act stage. And of course, if you need that professional help, I don't need to tell you that we are here at Connections 50 Plus. We have the programs, we have the individual programs, we have the group programs, and you can give us a call. We are offering at least 15 minutes free session with us, and then you can decide from there. Because in some cases, especially when we talk about money, I know many of you may say, hey, they get frustrated, you need help. So we are here to help you. So thanks so much. We will continue more discussion. I'm so happy that you have joined us. I look forward to get your comments. I look forward for your call and to ensure that, hey, you are making that move. You are not sitting back any longer. You are going out there, not say going out there, but you are ensuring that you plan for when this pandemic is over, that, hey, you are ready. Okay, so bye for now until we are going into our other stage, which is all about community. All right.
Wonderful, 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 Jennifer. We've got our moves on.
Yes.
We have our mind, body, and soul organized. We know how to get ourselves organized. We know our product, we know our customer. We are organized in that way. We have our space organized, and we have the moves now. What's stopping us?
Nothing. We are just moving forward.
And I think that is, it's, it needs repeating, because we are just so bombarded by the negative, the backward looking, the yes, it is not unreal, but we need to also focus on a positive way forward and way out. Because when we are all vaccinated, we have to have something, and it's so important. So excellent, Jennifer. And perhaps before, as you ended on that very nice note in terms of people coming to us, let's give people a little reminder of one of our programs that they can certainly come to us for help with.
Yeah, great.
Hi, all you beautiful people over 50. Here's an offer designed just for you. 50 Plus Tribe. You are not going to live the rest of your lives. You are now going to live the best of your lives. Up your game plan and make an entrepreneurial stance while maximizing your holistic wellness. Connections 50 Plus offers a life transition and self-care individual coaching program that can put that pep in your step. We can work together to ensure that you take action now and explore new possibilities to become the best version of yourselves in the third act stage. Connections 50 Plus Life Transition and Self-Care Individual Coaching Program is the modern approach to staying relevant and forward-thinking. Call us at 868-685-8834 or 868-682-9202 or connect with us at connections50plus.com. 50 Plus Tribe, you are enough. Make your golden years fulfilling.
And now, Jennifer, what's coming up now?
Community, building a tribe. Yeah.
Great. So, Jan, we can't all do it by ourselves.
No.
And this afternoon, we are excited because we have some ideas about how we can help to give our community confidence, help them to come out. And so, Jen, what are we going to be doing?
You know, Terry, and as you mentioned, and we spoke about today, going to get my vaccination. As I sat there waiting, I'm saying elderly couple, and I have to be careful with the elderly couple because I remember being referred to as the elderly right now. We 50 plus, you know, we are the group that seem to be more at risk. So I would say this couple was about 80 coming in, sitting there, nobody else with them. And they seemed so disoriented and confused. Yeah, so they seemed disoriented. So I called, there was the service representative, the support person there. And I called her and I asked her to, if she can attend to them because completing the form, they were just, they didn't have a pen, etc., etc. And she came, she spoke to them and left, and she's showing them on the form what to do, and she left them. And I overheard the guy telling him, well, we have to fill out the back, things like that. And I sat there and I said, you know what? I can't feel, we all of us very nervous now with this. We don't want to go too close to someone. You don't want to lend them your pen. And I said, no. So, and I overheard when they asked for the pen. So I said, you know what, I could spare a pen. I wouldn't take it back. And, and I just handed the pen and said, you know what, just complete the top and hold on and et cetera, et cetera. But I'm saying that, Terry Ann, to say we could give support and it could be just spontaneous. And just doing that, I saw that relief on their faces. I mean, I didn't go up to them, but they were sitting across from me. We had the social distancing, but I was able to, even the mask they had on, and I saw that and I'm saying, hey, they have to be, I would say 80 plus, and that is someone clearly, it would have been nice if somebody was with them to just take the form first, complete it. I'm not blaming the clerk there because they were bogged down with a lot of work. So that could not have happened. So I'm just sharing this to say that as much as possible that we can reach out, especially at this time. I got a friend who said she drops off groceries for this elderly couple. She said she don't go inside. She will call before, just drop the groceries at the gate and leave because she know they cannot go out. They don't have transport, etc. So I'm just sharing this to say that there are so many ways, even during this pandemic, with social distancing and being cautious, that we can still reach out.
And critically, Jennifer, it's so good what you did that we don't use the pandemic as an excuse to not reach out when we very well could.
Mhm, mhm.
Yes, you could maintain your social distance. You can still talk to people. You can offer a pen. You
Yeah.
don't have to use COVID as a reason to just detach.
Yeah, because they were totally, and I know they flustered because they realized they had been walk with a pen and it's already, just sitting there, you're a little anxious.
Thank God they
So,
had each other. Thank God they
yeah,
had each
yeah,
other.
yeah.
Mhm.
uh,
Because if they were alone, it would be a different scene.
mm,
And I think that's the kind of thing that we are trying to support with our
yeah,
own initiatives. That's all.
yeah, definitely. Reaching out in different ways. And I mean, several ways you could reach out. I pointed out this situation because it just happened. But there are so many ways we could reach out, and we spoke about that, Terry, Ann, in terms of picking up the phone, making that call to someone that you haven't spoken to for a while. Um, Drop off something to make them happy, because there are many of us out there who live alone, and fear. I was listening to a sermon this week and Pentecost, and Father was talking about the fear, for us to remove fear. And if we remove that fear, we would be in a better position to take action on certain things. Because if fear can just keep us stuck, we won't want to do anything. It's as bad as that.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm. So we have decided, because we know that we are all doing stuff, little stuff, big stuff.
Yeah.
We all have dreams. We are all planning. And we want to open up our forum to you. We want to open our portal to you, because we know that our 5.8G group, we have talent, we have skills. Listen, so anything that you're doing, if you want to share it with the community, get in touch with Jen and I. Go onto our website on the community page, and we're going to start up a discussion there. And you just give us a description of what it is you're doing, and we'll be in touch, and you will be right on here in the third block,
Yes.
telling the world about your project or your group or your activity or your idea or your business or your charitable activity or your volunteer. Jennifer, what have I forgotten that we may consider?
Nothing. Anything. It means as long you're doing something that involves people, involve others, let us know, share it. Share whatever you're doing. We love to have you on, and that's one of the ways that we're going to be building this 5.8G community.
Absolutely, absolutely. And because I know some of us just don't like to go onto the internet, I'm not going to make it hard. You can drop us a line on Facebook or YouTube. When you're looking, drop it in now, or our numbers, you can contact us. And let's start really building and reinforcing our community. Come here and join the conversation.
And tell a friend, please. Pass on this invitation to your friends.
Definitely. We're excited to really hear what's going on. And listen, this is not just Australians. Believe me, from Guyana, throughout the Caribbean, up across the Baileys, people in St. Vincent, Barbados. Let's know how the community is coming together to recover after the soufre flows. What's happening in Antigua, Barbuda? You've had your hurricanes the other day, now COVID. How are you getting back together? How is the community helping? Everybody, Spanish speakers, talk to us. We'll try and figure out the language. So we really want to see our 5.8G alive tribe working on building community. We are looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Okay, Jan?
Definitely. I'm all excited, especially as you mentioned here, the Caribbean islands. Hey, I would love, love, love to hear what you all are doing.
Yes.
So please start now. Just drop us a line and we will be in touch.
Yeah, email, Facebook, YouTube, website, WhatsApp. How else?
You have it all.
Don't throw a message in a bottle because the currents might shift and we won't get it in time.
So you have all the platforms that you can reach us on.
We're excited. So we are a tribe, we are a community, and we are opening this up. And it's not only for you to tell people what you're doing, but most critically, it's so that others could find out and contact you to join.
Mhm.
So it's not just one way, you're telling people what you're doing, but so that others may be interested and willing to join and participate. So whatever it is, whether it's a tea party in your garden, virtual tea party, whatever it is, let's know. Okay.
All right.
Great.
So this is it. So we're saying bye for now.
Yep. So
Right?
we will see you when we will have the other segments, because we're going in threes. So you've started being in tune. We've gotten our space organized, and Jen has given you your moves to be money savvy. And we have opened our community portal. So next week, we hope to have at least one of you talking on the community portal, and you'll hear more from us. So bye.
Bye.
50 Plus Tribe and follow us from Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean.
Thank you for joining us on this Connections 50 Plus 5.8G Alive show.
We hope you enjoyed the lively conversation and look forward to seeing you next week.
Don't forget to like our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
We really love getting your feedback. Bye for now.